Wait, there's aliens in this theme?
What? Hi all, welcome back to the channel. Braden from Badante's Game Room here.
And I'm Adam from Adam Bricks.
Today we are exploring what the Arctic line, a sub-theme of Town released in 2000, has to offer. We will be going over the commercials, special products, all of the sets, and even some unreleased sets. Stay until the end of the video to see where we place Arctic on a retrospective tier list. Without further ado, Adam is going to take you through the story and lore of Arctic 2000.
Deep in the frigid ice plains of the Arctic lies many hidden mysteries and tall tales. The Arctic is home to many native species such as polar bears, seals, and many more. But what lies beneath the ice? Many speculate what anomalies could possibly live in such a harsh environment. Possibly aliens from another planet? Well, Arctic 2000 delves into this possibility with a group of researchers investigating small meteors that have crashed into the barren icescape, containing unearthly creatures such as transparent scorpions, spiders, and many more, coming from an unknown planet. The researcher's job is simple: acquire the contents of the meteor, bring it back to base camp, and figure out where these aliens come from and how they got here. The theme itself could be considered to be ambiguous as it leaves you with many questions. Are the aliens hostile? Are they friendly? Was this theme a reference to John Carpenter's The Thing, which has many similarities in that The Thing, similar to LEGO Arctic, follow a group of researchers in the Arctic that encounter otherworldly creatures. Of course now, Arctic 2000 is certainly no horror film, and our main protagonists are not being attacked by mind-warping creatures, but you get the point. Now we're going to hand it back to Braden for products, commercial, and advertising.
Things are heating up at Polar Base LEGO, where you plow ahead with a high-tech team of Arctic explorers searching for frozen fossils. But the polar bears are looking for trouble. The team's counting on you to lend a hand when conditions get unbearable. Your world, your rules. Mania. The new LEGO Arctic collection. Each set sold separately. Snowballs not included.
Okay guys, that was the commercial for Arctic 2000. I apologize for the extremely low quality. That was the best one we could find. This commercial had some great live action elements and showcased the polar bear's role in this theme. The next thing we're going to look at here is how the Arctic line was a part of the first LEGO League. So the first LEGO League, or FFL for short, is a competition that started in 1998 and had teams competing in LEGO related challenges. This is the Arctic set number 9784-1 that was part of the FFL. Next up, we're going to take a look at the LEGO Adventures, issue 11, published February of the year 2000. So this was a British magazine that contained a wealth of Arctic content, such as a sticker sheet, behind-the-scenes look at the Arctic development, and even some comics, as seen here. If you were a LEGO Arctic fan, this would have been a very exciting issue of this magazine to read. The Arctic line also appeared in LEGO Racers 2 in the form of a stage, and a lot of the vehicles were drivable in that game as well. If you ever felt like writing a letter, there was also a LEGO Arctic themed pen. And last but not least, if you're looking for a place to eat your chicken and rice, there was also a placemat that was LEGO Arctic themed. Now that we've taken a look at the lesser known stuff, I'm going to hand it back over to Adam, and he's going to take a comprehensive look at the sets.
There were a total of 9 sets released for the Arctic line according to Bricklink, and starting off we were looking at set number 6520 Mobile Outpost. This set comes with 210 pieces and 2 minifigures, one having a green jumpsuit with a hood and another guy with a blue hat. It also introduced us to one of the first polar bear molds, which is a fantastic piece, especially for 2000. Now this set also introduces the main color scheme for this line being orange and blue, which I think is very fitting for a cold environment like the Arctic. The set also includes a small snowmobile build which looks great for the time, a vehicle for towing, and of course the mobile outpost that is being dragged by that vehicle. The mobile outpost can be detached from the vehicle and open up to reveal a small room with supplies for the researchers. The large panel pieces that they use for the windows on the outpost give a really cozy and condensed look, especially with the blue tinted windows to complement it as well. The mobile outpost also includes a transparent green dish, which was a nice touch. The set has many accessories for the researchers as well, such as snowshoes, ice picks, binoculars, and many more. Now, this was a really good set to claw people into the theme and really get down that aesthetic that they were going for with the Arctic theme. Now, let's move into the next set. The next set we're going to take a look at is set number 6569, which would be the Polar Scout Combo Pack. This set came with 2 different sets, being 6578 Polar Explorer and 6586 Polar Scout. The first set from the combo pack we're going to look at is the Polar Explorer. This set comes with 17 pieces and one minifigure. It also comes with the famous transparent blue spider piece, which was supposed to be an alien. This was a really great piece and a really great way to introduce the aliens in the series. The minifigure is nothing to write home about, but his torso piece is very unique and very special. It has the Arctic logo on it and it looks really good. The build itself is just simply a small piece of ice and a small glacier that contains the blue spider inside of it. Nothing to write home about, but you get the idea of what they were going for with it. The other set included in the combo pack is set number 6586 Polar Scout, and this set is really nice. It comes with the original polar bear that was created for this, and it comes with a small transparent blue glacier piece, which I believe we also would have seen in Rock Raiders, the brown version of it that wasn't transparent, of course. We also get this absolutely stunning transparent orange scorpion piece, which I think looks fantastic. If anyone watching is an Ice Planet fan, you guys know how much we enjoy the transparent orange pieces. We also get one minifigure who has the snowshoes on, which looks really good in my opinion. I believe the snowshoes were the first time we've seen it through LEGO, so that was a really nice touch. The highlight of the set is, of course, the actual Polar Scout build. This is a small sled carrying another small sled with what looks to be some supplies inside of it and a small antenna on the back. The build stays true to the aesthetic of Arctic with the orange and blue color scheme, and it looks absolutely fantastic. You also get a printed piece on the front for the Arctic logo, which also looks absolutely amazing. Now, Bricklink has these sets listed as two different ones, and they are completely separate from the actual combo pack, but we're going to actually just group these as one and not review them as single sets. I actually have the combo pack in my collection completely sealed, and it is an absolute beautiful set. Very hard to come by, but if you guys can get your hands on this one for a half decent price, definitely pick it up. The next set we're going to take a look at is the 6573 Arctic Expedition set. This set came with 111 pieces and 2 minifigures. One of the minifigures was a completely green guy and he had a green hat. The other one had black pants, blue torso, and a blue hood. Looked very good. The cream of the set certainly comes with the actual build though. This set comes with 2 small vehicles, one being a snowmobile and one being a small little buggy type build. The plow is a very stellar build in my opinion. It looks absolutely fantastic, especially with those sticker pieces on the front to actually display the plow piece. The actual piece on front for the cockpit is a transparent blue piece with the Arctic logo stickered on it, and it looks really good in my opinion. There is also a nice printed blue flag on top to really sell the detail of the set. The small buggy build comes with a sort of arm or sort of grabber that looks to actually grab the meteors that have fallen down and that they've collected. So that's a really cool mechanism. There's some Technic pieces in there and it looks really good overall, and it definitely has some functionality. So this set comes, you know, it has the functionality, it has the play value, and it's a really good set overall. Next set we're going to take a look at, and obviously the best set and the biggest set of the actual theme, is the Polar Base 6575. This set came with 416 pieces and a whopping 6 minifigures. The minifigures consisted of a medic, a helicopter rider, 2 explorers, and 2 people that look like they probably spent a lot of time inside, considering they're not wearing parkas. As with most minifigures in this series, the actual torso is definitely the highlight of the minifigures, and it looks really good with that Arctic logo printed on top of it. We also see our first female minifigure in the line, and I think the only minifigure in the Arctic line, so that was a nice touch as well. The actual build for the Polar Base is absolutely beautiful. You get 2 white base plates, and on each base plate we have a section of the actual base. It looks absolutely fantastic. There's a sort of lookout area on top. There's places to park the transport trucks, and there's lots of cool little details spread out throughout the build. I really enjoy the giant panel pieces they use on top to display the windows. The blue tint to them is also a really nice touch. We also get another snowmobile build, which was similar to the one previously mentioned, and then we also get another vehicle, which looks fantastic and I think is potentially the best one in the entire series. This set really exemplifies the color scheme that they were going for with the blue and orange, and it's shown all throughout the entire set. The set also includes a really nice build for a helicopter, which is included in the LEGO Racers 2 game. This is the biggest set, and I think it is by far the best set, being the main base of operations for our antagonists. Overall, I think this set really sells the idea that we're in the Arctic. It is very barren, very plain, but it gets the job done. It's a very nice set, definitely the best of the series in my opinion. It was also easily one of the best sets of the year 2000. Next, I'm going to cover 2 separate sets in one go. We have the Snow Scooter, which is 6577, and we also have another Snow Scooter. It's 6626. The only difference, this set came with a box, this one came with a poly bag. That's really the only difference. So let's look at the actual set. With only 17 pieces, I think the set really sells the idea that this is a snow scooter. It looks really good, follows the color scheme of the actual theme, and it looks absolutely fantastic with those neon green headlights on the front. The minifigure, of course, is nothing to write home about. We've seen him in many of the other sets. He is just the green parka guy. We get some gray saw pieces on the back, which look like to be some sort of accessory for the actual minifigure. And the printed Arctic logo on the front is a nice touch as well. There are really no differences between the scooter polybag and the actual box set. However, Bricklink has it listed as 16 pieces versus 17 pieces on the polybag. I was not able to find out exactly what the difference was, but the sets are virtually the exact same. The final set in this series is the Ice Surfer, and potentially one of the better sets in this series, even though it is one of the smaller sets. You get a really nice plastic piece to sell the idea that this is an actual sail, and that it's going to help transport one of our heroes across the icy plains. I think this is definitely one of the better sets, even though it only comes with 39 pieces in one minifigure. It's an absolute fantastic set, lots of great detail, follows the color scheme really well, and it's a really concise and condensed build. There's also some sort of small antenna build on the side. I don't know if this is supposed to be a radio or some sort of communication, but it looks really good too. There's not much to it. It's just a small panel piece with a printed piece on top, and then you also get a little 79 logo flag on top. But that's really it for this set. Ice Surfer 6579. Very small set, probably one of the best in this series, and that's our final set for the Arctic. I'm going to hand the mic back over to Braden to discuss the minifigures now.
So the Arctic line had 10 different minifigures as seen here. There's nothing extremely standout. Most of them are pretty common, but we'll take a look at the most common and the most rare figure in this section. So the most common figure in the Arctic line is this fella here. So ARC003. Pretty generic looking minifigure. The sweater he's wearing is pretty cool, but again, he's the most common. If you wanted to, for some reason, you could make an army of these guys pretty cost effectively. So in the last 6 months, the average used price for these guys is $1.63. What you see here now is the most rare minifigure in this line. So he's not in any of the official sets, but 5 of them appear in the FLL challenge set that we talked about previously. In the last 6 months, these guys averaged $4.49, so just a little bit more. Again, for minifigures, there isn't a lot going on for Arctic, but that was the most common and most rare minifigure of this line. Next up, we're going to talk about our favorite and least favorite sets that Arctic offers. So my favorite set for this line is going to be 6575, the Polar Base. For this one, you get 3 vehicles, a good collection of minifigures, and all kinds of cool parts. You can see the translucent blue windows used on the actual base. Those are awesome. And the translucent rock as well for the aliens, right? That's another good touch. I also like how the 2 building builds of this set are on separate base plates, so you can move them around and sort of set it up how you'd like. My main gripe with the set is you get 3 vehicles, which, again, it's a positive for this set, but I find it takes away from the smaller and medium sets in this line because you already have vehicles in your big set, so it gives less of a reason to get the smaller sets, right? Now on to my least favorite. My least favorite has to be the Snow Scooter Polybag, and the reason it's my least favorite is sort of like I mentioned with the Polar Bases. You already have a lot of vehicles, so this one doesn't really add much to warrant a purchase, right? Because you already have so many vehicles. Again, it's not a bad build, especially for the year 2000, but it's just not warranted where you already have so many vehicles. That was my favorite and least favorite. Now Adam's going to go over his favorite and least favorite.
Alright guys, so I'm going to start with the least favorite set for me. It's going to be the Polar Explorer set number 6578. The reason I don't like this set is because it's obviously the smallest, lacks any real detail, and the only thing really holding it up for me is the actual transparent blue spider piece. There's just not really much going on here. I don't necessarily think it's a bad set, but it's very barren, very plain, and there's just not much going on. On the flip side, my favorite set, of course, is going to be the Polar Base 6575. Now, I already touched on this in my set overview and why it's a really good set, but let me reiterate. 2 base plates, 2 ways to build your set together, lots of vehicles, a polar bear, and a lot of minifigures. This set is absolutely fantastic and definitely the best set of the Arctic line in my opinion. The helicopters are a really nice touch too, and I just think overall this set really sells the theme for me. So that's my opinion on the sets, guys. You go ahead and let us know down below what you think are the best and worst sets of this line. Now I'm going to throw it back over to Braden to give us the outro.
So there you have it, guys. Thanks so much for joining us on this expedition to the Arctic. We sort of had this new idea to add every line that we do to a tier list as we go. So you stay till the end of the video, you get to see this tier list grow with every retrospective we do. We started with Pharaoh Quest, so that was a strong C tier. And now Arctic 2000, we're putting in D tier, so below it. While the lore is interesting, there's not a lot of sets here for the line, and it's just not as memorable as some of the future themes we're going to be looking at. Keep in mind this ranking is subject to change. It could go up or down in the future, who knows. That all being said, I don't think Arctic is a terrible line. There's a large fan base for it. There's even a fan film for it. It's just not as strong as a lot of the others. Thanks again for watching this retrospective on Arctic 2000. We'll see you in the next one.